Have you ever looked at someone else's life, their success, their possessions, or even their happiness, and felt a bitter sting in your heart? That feeling is envy, one of the 7 cardinal sins. It's more than just wanting what someone else has. It's being sad that they have it, and you don't. It's a corrosive emotion that eats away at our joy and can lead us down a very dark path. The Bible is filled with stories that serve as powerful warnings about where envy can lead. Let's go back to the very beginning, to the first family. Cain and Abel, the sons of Adam and Eve, both made offerings to God. Abel's offering was accepted, but Cain's was not. The scripture tells us that Cain became very angry, and his face was downcast. God warned him, saying, "If you do what is right, will you not be accepted? But if you do not do what is right, sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you, but you must rule over it." But Cain didn't listen. His envy of his brother's favor with God consumed him. It grew from a bitter feeling into a murderous rage, and he killed his own brother in a field. This is the first and perhaps most shocking example of how envy can curdle into the most terrible of actions. The story of Joseph and his brothers is another classic tale of envy. Jacob favored his son Joseph, gifting him a beautiful, multicolored coat. This special treatment sparked intense envy in his 10 older brothers. They saw the coat, they heard about Joseph's dreams of ruling over them, and their envy turned to hatred. They couldn't even speak a kind word to him. This festering resentment didn't just stay as a feeling. It led them to conspire against him, first planning to kill him, then selling him into slavery in Egypt. They deceived their own father, letting him believe his favorite son was dead for years. All of this chaos, all this family heartbreak, began with the simple, poisonous seed of envy. Even great leaders and kings were not immune. Look at King Saul and David. When David, a young shepherd boy, defeated the giant Goliath, the people of Israel celebrated him. They sang, "Saul has slain his thousands, and David his tens of thousands." This comparison ignited a fire of envy in King Saul's heart. He saw David not as a hero who had saved his kingdom, but as a rival who was stealing the people's affection. His envy became an obsession. Saul spent years hunting David, trying to kill him, letting his paranoia and hatred distract him from his duties as king. His envy ultimately led to his own downfall and the loss of his kingdom. He couldn't stand to see someone else shine, and it destroyed him. In the New Testament, we see the most significant act driven by envy. Why was Jesus ultimately handed over to be crucified? The Gospel of Matthew states it plainly. Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor, knew that it was out of envy that the chief priests had delivered Jesus to him. The religious leaders saw the crowds following Jesus. They heard his teachings and witnessed his miracles. They were envious of his influence, his wisdom, and the love the people had for him. He was a threat to their power and status. This envy blinded them to the truth and led them to demand the death of an innocent man. These stories aren't just ancient history, they are mirrors reflecting a human weakness that is still very much with us today. Envy whispers to us that someone else's success is our failure. It tells us that their light somehow diminishes our own. But this is a lie. The antidote to envy is gratitude. It's about learning to appreciate what we have, to celebrate the successes of others, and to find joy in our own journey. It's about recognizing that God has a unique plan and purpose for each of us. When you feel that sting of envy, try to turn it into inspiration. Instead of resenting someone's success, learn from it. Instead of wishing for their downfall, pray for their continued blessing and for your own. By choosing gratitude over resentment, we can protect our hearts from this destructive sin and live a life filled with joy and peace. Thanks for watching. If this message resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content.